Their hopes for freedom are delayed once again. A new challenge arises at the resentencing hearing of brothers Eric and Lyle Menendez, who are serving life sentences for murdering their parents.
Good evening. Welcome to Fox 11 News at 5 o'clock simulcast on Fox 11 and Fox 11 Plus. I'm Ellis Michelson.
And I'm Christine Devine.
A Los Angeles judge put a pause on the case, citing disputes over a state parole board report ordered by Governor Gavin Newsom. The defense is now asking for the DA to be dismissed from the case.
Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez was one of a handful of reporters inside the courtroom in Van Nuys today. She's live with more on the heated courtroom battle. Christina.
You know, Christine, Alex, you could hear the gasp of astonishment - anger from the family in the courtroom when they found out that the prosecution somehow got in their hands a copy of a report from the parole board, part of that whole investigation that Gavin Newsom has requested to see if the brothers would be a threat to society if they were released. In any case, the prosecution has the report, and they want to use the information in cross-examination at the hearing. The defense just screamed, said, no, 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 foul play, put a stop to the whole thing. Let's show you what happened.
We are filing a motion to recuse the district attorney in this case.
Attorneys for the Menendez brothers want the DA's office dismissed from the case, accusing DA Nathan Hochman of bias against the Menendez family.
He has done nothing but traumatize, abuse, and serially traumatize them ever since. This man is not a victims' rights advocate. He is a predator, and I'll leave it at that.
If you don't have the law, pound the facts. And if you don't have the law or the facts, pound the prosecutor.
The DA's response to criticism even before today's proceedings began, when Menendez family members arrived ready to testify.
Anna Maria, are you going to take the stand today?
Yes. Hugging one another outside the Van Nuys courthouse, Eric and Lyle Menendez appearing on video in the courtroom where their attorney, Mark Geragos, is fighting for their resentencing in the 1989 murder of their parents, Jose and Kitty Menendez. The brothers are serving life in prison without the possibility of parole. Resentencing would make them eligible for parole. And it's actually a parole review that threw the wrench at these proceedings and has the defense threatening to walk out of court.
The DA has turned this case on its head.
Deputy DA Habib Balian is requesting to use a comprehensive risk assessment done by the parole board as part of a review requested by Governor Newsom to assess if the brothers would be a risk to society if released.
They look at all the records, the prison records, the interview records, the reports in the prison. They talk to various people throughout the prison system about the Menendez brothers.
Judge Michael Jessic, who said he hadn't even read the report, took a long lunch break to reach the governor's office, find out if they could even use it. The family, meanwhile, still upset. They're here without one member who's been a constant fixture for 35 years.
I wasn't ready for this.
That's Teresita Baralt, Jose Menendez's sister, talking to us at an earlier hearing. Her family saying she was hospitalized Friday from the stress of seeing crime scene photos she had managed to avoid seeing since the murder.
She's much better. She was released from the hospital. She's weak but recovering.
Will she be here today?
So now the family doesn't know when they will get to testify. The request to recuse the DA goes actually to the Attorney General. The Attorney General looks at it and then makes a recommendation to the judge. Then the judge gets to decide on that. And if they don't throw out the DA from the case, they actually then get to look at this report from the parole board and consider what parts to use in a resentencing hearing that will happen God only knows when, because we don't know at this point. We have to wait for this to happen on May 9th. So once again, the Menendez case takes an unexpected turn. I'm Christina Gonzalez, live in Van Nuys. Back to you in the studio.
And of course, if Governor Newsom chooses to commute their sentence, the resentencing hearing is unnecessary. There's no need for one. So Christina,
he could sign something tomorrow,
right,
and at least get them to the parole board. He's not.
Yeah, but I'm just curious what it was like in that courtroom, and did you see the Menendez brothers themselves reacting much? Were they talking to each other? What was that like?
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about that in the 6 o'clock because you're going to hear from the family. You could hear, they started out, and I got to say, Eric Menendez looks buffed up. He was like the tiny, small guy, and, you know, he looks completely like he's been working out. So he was excited. In comes Lyle Menendez. They're both ready, and you could see them just deflating little by little. And you could see the family doing the same thing, just shaking their heads. They all have to go back to wherever they came from. Who knows when they'll be able to come back. This is the third time this has been delayed.
Do we have any...
Yeah, it's upsetting for them.
Do we have any idea what's in that risk assessment report? Does it favor the Menendez?
It had been sealed. It could, and that's what Geragos says. Perhaps he'll use some of it. But they don't know. Nobody knows because initially it was sealed by the governor. It is executive privilege. It's not supposed to be opened until it goes to the parole board. How the prosecution got that copy is one of the things that the defense is asking about and questioning the whole thing.